Hi folks, Brother Martinez here in BYU-Hawaii. I hope you and your loved ones are doing okay. I wish I could be in the classroom with you, but we have to be supportive of all the efforts and to curb the spread of the coronavirus. And following the example of our prophets and apostles, we are also trying to be good citizens and good neighbors. So we're going to have our Religion 480 class, Church Organization and Leadership, online once again. Let me tell you a little bit about this class. This class is my brainchild. I created this course in 2001. And I need right off the bat, I need to tell you that we only have this course at BYU-Hawaii. BYU-Idaho and BYU Provo do not offer this religion class, Church Organization and Leadership. And so, if any of you one day transfer to Rexburg or Provo, this Religion 480 class will transfer as a general education class, as a GE elective, not as a religion elective. So I need to tell you right at the outset this information. But let me tell you why I created this course. I come from Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, country where the church has grown very, very fast in the 1970s and 1980s, even though the church had been there since 1935. But it was in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s that the church experienced a very, very rapid growth rate. And with that, meant that in Brazil, we were called to serving executive positions, if you will, in the church very early. We would be still in our 20s and be serving in Relief Society presidencies in wards and stakes, bishoprics, stake high councils, and in our 30s we would be serving even in stake presidencies. So this was very common. And that's why I was called my first time to serve as a bishop when I was 28 years old. And I wish I had known a lot more things about church leadership, about the organization of the church, than I did back then when I was 28 years old. Well, fast forward a number of years, when I found myself here at BYU-Hawaii, I decided, we have all these brothers and sisters coming from so many nations in the Asia-Pacific rim, in Central and South America, and also Europe and Africa, really from all over the world. And I thought, why not share with them what I wish I had known when I was called at age 22 to serve as a stake high counselor. So I created this course. Now, this is not a course on leadership, on principles of leadership. And I believe the Institute of Religion program has a principles of leadership class. This is not it. This is a class on the organization of the church, how the church is organized, how government in the priesthood is exercised through councils at ward and stake level and general level, regional or area level, and then also in the leading councils of the church, how the programs of the church are supposed to be executed, implemented, especially our meetings, oratory. These are some of the things we're going to be discussing. And then later in the semester, we're going to focus a little bit on the finances of the church and spend a considerable amount of time talking about the welfare system in the church. In fact, the paper for this Religion 480 class is going to be a discussion of a very real life case dealing with welfare. Because my experience has been that most of the issues that ward councils need to deal with are not really spiritual in nature, are more often than not material or temporal in nature. And temporal matters may affect the spiritual matters. And so that's why the paper later in the semester is going to be about welfare. Now, I don't want to bother you with all the details about the paper. Later on, we're going to discuss, and there is some information I already sent to you via email and some more in the syllabus online. But I would like to tell you that I have a lot of stories to tell you. I wish we could be in the classroom. I'm hoping to find some old videos from many years ago that were filmed in this class many years ago before I went on my mission in Brazil, to show you some clips from some of these stories. I have served twice as a bishop, 7 times as stake high counselor. I also served as a mission president. So I have a lot of stories to tell. And these are the things that President Boyd K. Packer used to call the unwritten order of things that we learn by observation. And so I want to share with you a lot of these observations. My hope is that in the future, if the Lord calls you to serve in one of these leadership capacities in the church, in your home countries or whatever you find yourself, that you will be able, because of the things you're going to learn, because of the things you're going to read, and the things you're going to hear from me this semester, that you will be able to render more refined service in the kingdom of God, in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is not my objective, and this is very important to me, it is not my objective by teaching this class to create a generation of critics. I know that sometimes in some of the things you're going to learn, you're going to see, well, it doesn't look like this is happening in my ward or in my branch or in my stake and in my district. Please refrain from being critical. The idea here is like what we read in the Book of Mormon, is that you may become wiser than we have been. In fact, some of the stories I'm going to share with you from my own experience are also things that I wish I could have done better. And I'm going to share those with you so that if you find yourself in the future in similar situations to the ones that I've found myself, that you will be able to act better than I did in my days. You're always welcome to contact me. In fact, I hope you do contact me and ask me questions about the things you're going to be reading, about the things you're going to be watching, the videos that I have for you. I am your teacher. Even though we're not in person in a classroom, I'm always available. Send me an email. If you need a one-on-one conversation, face-to-face, we can schedule some time and have a one-on-one on video, one-on-one conversation on video. And if you allow me, if you give me permission, we may even record this and share with others for their education as well. Now I'd like to take you to the computer and show you some of the things that we'll find in the Canvas system about the class. And once again, you're welcome, very welcome to get in touch with me. Your questions are welcome. Your concerns are welcome. Your doubts are welcome. Your fears are welcome. Let me know. And let's go to the scriptures and the words of living prophets and see if we can find together answers that will bring you peace and comfort regarding these matters you will want to discuss with me. Now, let's take a look in the computer then. See you. Let's begin here on the Canvas dashboard, and we'll select our course, Religion 480, Church Organization and Leadership. So we go to the initial page, the home page on Canvas, and for those who may not be familiar with Canvas, we have this menu on the left side here. I'm not going to use a lot of these options, just a few of them. But let's begin just taking a look at the syllabus. We click here on syllabus. I not going to read the syllabus with you, but my suggestion is that you read this carefully. There is a slightly longer version of the syllabus on my website, on the BYU-Hawaii server, but the most important things are here on the Canvas page, on the syllabus page here on Canvas. I once again encourage you to read this carefully. I'm going to hold you accountable to everything that is listed on the syllabus. So it's important for you to read it and go back and read it again later in the semester. And listen, I'm going to let you read this by yourself. And you just go here to the assignments link here on Canvas on the left side again. And we have here reading assignments. And these reading assignments are numbered, and you will see in the calendar for the course, which is also available on my website, that I number the topics so that it will be easy for you to identify the topics here on Canvas, as well as the corresponding quizzes or the quizzes corresponding to those topics. So let's take a look at the first one here, Priesthood, Organization, and Government in the Church, which is the first one in the semester. Now, there are a variety of readings, and beginning with a general handbook here, and some articles and talks by prophets and apostles, and videos, and some other, artwork. But I want to call your attention at this point to these questions for review. When you go to the reading assignments on my website, you will also find at the bottom of the page these questions for review. Now, a number of you have taken classes from me before, so you know what these are. But for the benefit of those who are taking a class from me for the first time, these questions are the actual questions I'm going to ask you in the weekly quizzes and in the midterm and final exams. The answers to these questions will be found in the readings themselves. I'm not going to ask you to interpret anything. I'm not going to ask you what's your opinion, or your parents' opinion, your roommate's opinion, or your bishop, your former mission president's opinion. No. The answers will come straight out of the text of the talks and articles that I assign to you. Corresponding questions to this you will find in the quizzes. So for each one of these reading assignments, you have a corresponding quiz, and I also number the quizzes here to make them to correspond to the numbers of the reading assignments, and you have the dates. The quizzes are open book, open notes, closed neighbor. So you have 60 minutes to answer. And as you can see here, some weeks you're going to have one quiz, other weeks you're going to have two quizzes. Most weeks, in fact, you may have two quizzes. And some of the quizzes you have, like the first one, 12 questions, others, fewer questions. There is one here, number 9, that has only one question. Some of you may ask, well, Robert, why didn't you incorporate everything in one single quiz? Well, it's because of I made it this modular, so that in future semesters, if I need to rearrange the order or the sequence of the reading assignments because of a different calendar, it'll be easier for me to do so without having to rewrite quizzes. So this is what you have then in relation to quizzes. Now, eventually we're going to have exams, and one of the things that I need to tell you about these quizzes, and you have this on the instructions here. The quizzes are meant simply to record your attendance online. Don't worry about your score in a quiz. I'm not going to use the scores of the quizzes in the calculation of your final grade. The quizzes are merely to record your attendance. So you need to take the quiz or quizzes each week so that you don't lose class participation points at the end of the semester. Also, as I told you, these are the actual questions, those questions for review. Let me go back to the assignments page here. Those questions for review are the actual questions for the quizzes and also for the exams. So when the time comes for a midterm exam or final exam, you will see that you can go back, you will be able to go back to these quizzes and see if there are any questions that you may have missed, and you will then be able to see why you missed the question and what the correct answer is, to decrease the likelihood that you will have a less than desirable result in the exams. Unlike the quizzes, the exams are going to be closed book, closed notes, closed neighbor. Okay, now going back to the assignments page, let me just show you a few more things here. Feel free to browse around here. I'm not going to talk about the paper right now. We'll talk about it later, but it's going to be our case that we're going to discuss together. And as you may have already read in the emails that I sent earlier to you, we're going to set up several sessions on Zoom to be able to accommodate your different time zones, but we'll talk about that later. Now, just want you to take a look at, I have some videos here, and I hope you watch these videos. There's a lot of good doctrines and insights that I'm sharing with you here. And also, I have diagrams. These diagrams here would be the artwork that I would have shared with you in the classroom if we had been in the classroom. So I'm sharing them with you here, and you will see that most of them don't have a whole lot of explanations, and the reason is just to encourage you to get in touch with me and ask me questions. Just because we're not meeting in person doesn't mean that we cannot dialogue, and we can dialogue via email, or if you want to do it a one-on-one, we can do that on Zoom at your request. So let's see how that works. Now, I'm also sharing with you some of my papers, my essays and papers for different topics related to our discussions, our lectures, or reading assignments for this semester. There is one more thing about the reading assignments that I need to cover here. When you come to the reading assignments, be sure to click on this link to my website. Here on Canvas, I put mainly the links to the readings that are on the church website or in a few other places online. But there are also some quotations from prophets and apostles that I did not put on the canvas because they're all here. And some of the questions for review will be answered by these quotations that are on these lecture pages. So feel free to look around, and you're very, very welcome to ask me questions. I hope you do. Remember, I'm available. I am your teacher, and I'll be very, very glad to interact with you. Via email, you can call me. You have my cell phone number. Between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Hawaii time, I should be available to interact with you by phone as well if you need. Or if you want face-to-face, we can schedule a meeting on Zoom, one-on-one, and and I'll be delighted to answer your questions. So I hope this is helpful to you, and I look forward to hearing from you sometime soon. Take care. Bye.